My name is Waylon Lewis, elephantjournal.com, and we're doing a Best of LOHAS video for LOHAS Forum, where all the green giants get together. We're in the green room. I'll make bad puns about that throughout the day. And I'm here with the godfather of green, Anthony Zalesi. If he wants something done sustainably, he just makes it happen. And I hear you have a new exciting project, Inopes. Tell me about it.
Well, this project really developed around looking at plastic in the oceans, and just our material recovery. What are we doing with this product, this packaging? And so we created a company to actually collect this packaging called Inopes, and it's an integrated platform between a digital platform at Grenopolis and Inopes reverse vending machines, if you will, or tracking stations that we're putting in front of retail grocery stores.
So plastic water bottles, big problem, big issue in the green community. How are you helping contain that problem? Well, tell me about these vending machines.
Yeah, what we're trying to do first of all is bring awareness to that, Waylon. And you know, this is like this water bottle here is the first water bottle in the United States with our system that has 25% rPET in it.
What is that, recycled PET?
Recycled PET. Okay. And our goal is to get it to 100. So we put a meter on it. Right now we're 25, and the goal is to be the 100. So the point is with this system, what we need to do is have people realize that plastic's a beautiful material. Let's celebrate plastic. Let's use it properly and reuse it. There's no reason we should be using any virgin plastic in the world today.
All right, I'm here with Summer Rain Oaks, eco model. Have you ever been called that before?
One too many times.
One too many times? She's taller than me, I'm wearing heels. And she's a presenter, a speaker, a featured superstar at LOHAS 2009. What were you here talking about?
Well, this is a current trends of eco-chic, which I don't really care for the title, but we're going to be talking about sustainability through fashion and media, or sorry, fashion and beauty, and see where it's heading.
So what's like a concrete example of that? I know you're working with a green shoe line.
Yeah. I mean, at Payless we launched a line of shoes called Zoe and Zach. So really it's a way of democratizing green to an audience that normally would have originally seen it as something that didn't relate to them, or something that was too elite for them to actually purchase. So a lot of the services and products that were available were just to a point that you couldn't afford them, or it just didn't relate to your life. So that's a current project that we're doing with Payless. Another great example, concrete example, is the work that we're doing with a partner by the name of Alan Schwartz in Mozambique called 80 Schwartz. We're doing, you can see this sustainably harvested African blackwood bracelet. And basically what we're trying to do is create the highest value product and or service out of the forest resources, because what's happened is 75% of that forest has been destroyed. And so that's the system that people live on, and they've do not have the information that they had years ago, before civil unrest, before the socialist regime came in, where they're living off the land and understanding that they can eat the fruit, that they don't have to sell their trees for pennies, that we could actually create a high value product that you wouldn't want to throw away from the forest resources while conserving those forest resources and restoring them.
So I'm here with one of my idols, because he's young, the ladies love him, he's filthy rich, and he's changing the world for the better.
Except for that filthy rich part.
Well, yeah, in a couple years when you sell out to the man. No, Adam Lowry of Method. So Method is super stylish, super cool. You're based in San Francisco.
That's right.
And you're kind of exporting green cleaning to the masses. You're sold in Target, everywhere.
Yeah, grocery stores, mass market retailers. Yeah.
Right. So how did you happen to get into green cleaning?
Well, it was really serendipitous. I actually used to be a climate scientist and a product designer.
Wow.
And it was out of the frustrations of kind of preaching to the converted in the scientific community and then trying to be a green consumer that we came up with the idea that as long as green products sucked, which most of them still do, we would never actually.
Do you want to name what companies?
I'll leave out the names at this point, but I think we all know who they are.
Right.
And as long as that was true, we would never actually create the critical mass that we need to create some sort of societal level change. And more simply, I mean, cleaning sucks. and let's make it suck a little less.
Right.
You know, simple.
Business of Green is basically about big Fortune 500 companies that are taking on environmental initiatives and actually saving money doing so. So we're investigating,
like Wal Mart,
exactly.
Yeah.
So we're investigating the return on investment. Like, is there a return on investment for going green? Often there is, and it's really exciting at this time right now, especially during the recession, to see companies saying, oh, well, if we cut back on our energy use, we'll also happen to save, $8 million or something ridiculous.
So green is no longer a political thing. It's no longer a hippie thing. It's actually saving and making money.
Right, exactly. And these CEOs that I'm interviewing are saying straight out, yeah, we care about the environment, that's important to us, but we want to save money right now. That's what's important to us.
So how do we preach the good green gospel and all that to the masses?
Looking at the problems that we face, I've come to the conclusion, as I see more and more people coming to the same conclusion, which is that communication is really the challenge. We have material problems, but we don't lack for good ideas. What we lack is the will collectively to implement the good ideas that we found. And that will comes, I believe, from communication. And transformational communicators, and there have been some throughout history, Martin Luther King, Obama, Gandhi, these people
John Stewart.
John Stewart, Colbert. No, but certain people, and not all of them are famous, are able though to get through to people in a way where they see that we need a common vision and where they give their lives over to that. And I've demystified that a little bit and hopefully given some practical tools for people.
So what's going on with TreeHugger? You guys are you're the biggest green website and probably green media in the world. What's ahead?
What's ahead? Well, we're trying to keep pushing forward, keep moving the conversation forward. We're very interested in helping to activate people as well as inform them to do the right thing. So TreeHugger, we really focus on the cutting edge concepts, the new designs, the hottest stories, and we're always looking for the green angle of stories that you might not even think of as green. So we're really looking to activate green as a sort of horizontal category across everything in your life. There isn't just a green compartment. And then on Planet Green, we're really looking to teach people how they can be green in their own lives. So it's our very doing, servicey DIY site.
So what you're saying in the old media, new media kind of revolution that's going on is that old media, so-called old media, print media, actually has an opportunity, those that can survive, to kind of emerge with fewer competitors. People who want in-depth content are still going to want to read physical.
Sure, and because the whole thing about online, yes, we need to do a lot online. Media companies and magazines should have an online presence and should invest in that. That's all good, but we should not just go, now all running in that direction and forget about the fact that the print magazine itself, as the book, and the newspaper even, people like these things, and they will be there. I mean, I was promised a paperless office 30 years ago.
Right.
And the one thing I'm not in these days is in the paperless office.
Right.
There's more paper than ever around.
When we talk about environmentalism, there's this idea that it's about guilt and put on the horsehair shirt, tighten your belt, and be less, right? Well, first of all, that doesn't work because human beings are aspirational. Like, we want to be more.
We want to celebrate.
Yeah, it doesn't, and that's as it should be. That's one of the wonderful things about us.
Sure.
But to be more doesn't mean to have more, right? To be more means something altogether different. So when we started to use less resources to not make trash, or even it was extreme, so we actually didn't have electricity, we discovered different things, different joys. So for example, because we had no electricity, we had no air conditioning, and we would take our little girl to the park and we would play in the fountain, and all of a sudden we started making more fun, more friends.
Right.
And all of a sudden, so it was, we could have been at home watching TV, with the air conditioning, or we were at the park in the fountain, and my little girl was having the time of her life. Right. And so the question becomes, here's what the question is: when are we using planetary resources to improve our lives, and when is the use of the resources actually degrading our lives?
So we just did a ton of interviews, but since this is a 5-minute best of LOHAS video, we don't really have time for much more. The people I want to mention who we missed, who I love: Hunter Lovins, who you saw playing on the Wii. She's a legend, Rocky Mountain Institute, Natural Capitalism. Summer Inopes, who I had the pleasure to go for a hike with yesterday, the eco model. She's on Planet Green, she's everywhere. Adam Werbach, one of my idols, wrote Death of Environmentalism, works for Wal Mart, consults with a ton of businesses in transforming those huge businesses who used to be a challenge to the environmental movement and making them allies and ambassadors for it. He was really inspiring this morning. Ray Anderson, who read Paul Hawken, book by Paul Hawken, who we've interviewed, and transformed one of the biggest carpet companies in the world into an engine for green, and he's very inspiring. Ted Ning, who put together all of LOHAS and made our videos possible. Super mensch. He's so busy out there, we just can't nab him, but he's in a pink shirt. We'll get some B-roll. God bless. LOHAS, 2009. Waylon Lewis, elephantjournal.com, and it's my honor to have finally met Andrew Cohen, a legend. You're the founder of Enlightened Next magazine.
Right.
So what brings you to LOHAS? Why did you want to come here? I know you're a speaker.
Well, what I want to speak about a kind of a newer, a higher motivation to live the human experience, to be who we are, and that higher motivation is what I see as a newly emergent expression of the spiritual impulse, which in this case is the urge to evolve, right? And for many people that have become interested in post-traditional spirituality, often what's motivated them is an aspiration to want to transcend the world, to find a way to experience a kind of peace and freedom that frees them from the complexity and the challenges of embracing the human experience and living the human experience. And what I've discovered is that there's an impulse that we can discover and find access to in our own experience of consciousness that is at one with the same energy and intelligence that initiated the creative process, that initiated the Big Bang, that caused this whole cosmic event, this cosmic process actually to happen. And the nature of that energy and intelligence when we discover it is an experience of ecstatic urgency. It's an experience of ecstasy and a sense of urgency, a sense of purposefulness, a sense of meaning, and a sense, and inherent in that is the recognition that this is our process, this is our project, we created it, and it's up to us to create the future. And this is it's a powerful discovery, because and an important one, because it frees us from our very highly developed postmodern individuation, right? We're all very much individuals in this postmodern culture, and many of us tend to have become very distracted by our own ego's interior experience. And so the awakening to this higher impulse, this evolutionary impulse, really frees us existentially, or in a very deep and profound way, to discover a completely different relationship to being ourselves and to being alive, and to really want to participate in this process in such a way to make the world a better place.
So yeah, for simple-minded people like me, you're essentially, I grew up in the Buddhist community, as I mentioned, here in Boulder. You're saying the spiritual or religious impulse to get away from the chaos and craziness of the world can actually be turned around. We can embrace and kind of get involved in that with a mission, sense of mission.
Well, at least in the traditional sense, the enlightenment that the Buddha was speaking about was the discovery of nirvana. It was the discovery of a state of consciousness, and access to a plane of existence where there's no time and there's no space. So it's an experience of where you transcend the body, you transcend the mind, you transcend time, and the deeper one's experience of that part of the self is, the deeper is the sense of freedom from the body, from the mind, from time, from life itself. And so in this new enlightenment I'm teaching, which is really all about which is all about evolution, we discover, and it's quite a stunning recognition, that the greatest place to be is where we are. And the reason that the greatest place to be is where we are is because we realize that it's taken the universe more or less about 13.7, 14 billion years to produce or to create sentient life forms with the capacity for self-reflective awareness that we have, that could have the capacity to cognize the whole process. So to put it very simply, the great spirit, or the godlike consciousness or an energy and intelligence that initiated this creative process can only really begin to awaken to itself to behold what he or she created or it created. through us. And when we realize that that really means that we are, in a certain sense, are really the greatest products of this cosmic event. And instead of just being these very isolated postmodern egos, we have the capacity now to really take this process forward in ways that we never dreamed of before.
I challenge anyone to have a better reason that they came to LOHAS than all that. That was incredibly eloquent. Thank you, Andrew.
All right.
It's a real honor. Andrew
it.
Cohen, Enlighten Next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
LOHAS.
You were able to connect and go for a hike with that powerful green publisher.
Yeah, I think his name was
and his dog.
Waylon Lewis.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know
heard
him.
about it.
Yeah.
I've heard bad things, but you know.
Well, he was a great guy, but I thought his dog was way more charismatic. I think it's
Redford.
Yeah.
Half hound, half lab.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
cute.
I mean, how do you know this?
I'm a big fan of Waylon, actually.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's interesting.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Summer Rain Oaks. I'm a huge fan. Every year I do an interview and I get comments making fun of how I can't complete a sentence around her. So, Summer Rain Oaks.
No. Last year, it was just like you wouldn't stop talking.
Well, that's because I was nervous. Yeah. I know at one point she told me to shut up.
I was like, you don't even listen to my answers.
I'm just trying to be in the room with you. That's all I can do. That's all I can accomplish. She blushed a little. That was good.